Hello and welcome to Wednesday's Phonics for Year 2, Grasshopper and Dragonflies. I hope we're all having a good week so far, and let's see what we're going to be getting up to today. So, can you say these sounds? These are all sounds that we already know. We're just having a little practice at saying them. So as they pop up on the screen, watch carefully and see if you can say what they are. Are you ready? A, I, oi, O, U, E, A, O, E, U, W, O, I, E. Well done. I'm just going to go back to that for a second actually, because maybe you could pause the video and have a little think about which sounds are the same on this page. We've got words that I can see E and E on there twice, but they're two different ways of spelling it. Perhaps if you really wanted to, you could even look at what words each sound would have, as in F for phone. So we're going to have a practice reading the words that we've been looking at this week, our key words. Our first word is, can you tell me? Jumped. Excellent, well done. And the next one? Wanted, well done. And this one? Lived, brilliant. And the next one? Liked, fantastic. And lastly, we have got pulled, brilliant, well done. So as you know, we've been looking at different spelling rules this week, specifically for looking at adding the ed suffix. So we're just going to go over those again. So if a regular verb already ends in an e, we make sure it ends in an ed by just adding a d. For instance, like and liked. If a regular verb with one syllable ends with one vowel and a consonant, you double the consonant before adding ed, as in jog, jogged, where we double the G. And words or verbs ending with the letter X are not double because the letter X is a blend of two consonants. For instance, box, boxed. So spelling rules, looking at the short vowel. What happens to any verb with two consonants at the end when you add the ed? But with the exception of verbs ending in Y, we nearly always just add ed. For instance, back becomes backed, bang becomes banged. Hand becomes handed, itch becomes itched. We've just added the ed. So today we're going to look at what happens to a word that has a long vowel in it. So what do you think might happen to it? Do you think we just add an ed, or do you think we need to change the root word? So with very few exceptions, for example, in the I sound, which is sound spelt with a Y, you add ed without changing the root word. So, for instance, if we had the word seat, it would become seated. We just add the ed. If we had the word fool, it becomes fooled, just adding the ed. And if we had the word spook, it would be spooked. Again, just adding the ed. So it's basically the same rule as when we look at the short vowel sound. Even with the long vowel sound, we just add the ed. In the long vowels we had in those words was e for in seat, u in fool, and u in spook. So I want you to now have a little practice at turning the following verbs into the past tense using all the rules we have learnt so far this week. So at this point, you might actually want to get yourself a pen and paper, and in a moment, you might want to pause the video. So we've got the word paint, spot, pull, push, stop, and peel. So in the word paint, it is the long vowel sound. So paint is going to become what? Painted. Well done. Spot, short vowel sound, is going to become spotted. Pull, with the two consonants at the end, is going to become pulled. Push, with with a digraph at the end, what's that going to become? Pushed. Stopped with the short vowel, it's going to become stopped. And with peel, we've got the long vowel sound E. So peel becomes peeled. So perhaps you could write down now what you think is going to happen to the word when we add the ED. So pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you've written all those words down. Let's have a look at what happens to these words. So paint becomes painted. We just add the ED because it's a long vowel sound. Spot becomes spotted. Okay, we double the consonant at the end on this one for the short vowel sound. Pulled, we just add the ED. Pushed, we also just add the ED on the end. Stop, we double the consonant for the short vowel sound. And then peel, we just add the ED with the long vowel sound. So hopefully you got all those correct. I'm sure you did. Okay, so now we want to have a little look at doing a bit of reading. Can you read this sentence all on your own? So I'm going to stay quiet for a few seconds. Okay, were you able to read that? Let's have a look. It says, I flipped the pancake and then dropped it on the floor. I flipped the pancake and then dropped it on the floor. I hope you managed to read that. Well done. So the challenge is, could you write that sentence? Maybe pause the video at the moment or cover it up and get your mum and dad to read the sentence for you, and can you write it down as they read it? Okay, now looking at these sentences, these are silly sentences. We're going to see if we can read these sentences, and then we're going to see if we can answer yes or no to them. So it'd be really good if you could read these sentences on your own. Again, perhaps at this point, pause the video and you could sit there with your grown-up and work out what they say and then answer them. Okay, so hopefully you've had a bit of time to have a look at those sentences. So I'm just going to read through them with you. Could you carry an elephant on your head? I think that would be a no. Would you put ice cream in the freezer? Yes, definitely. Do you go to school in the holidays? No. Is December a summer month? No. Could you fly to Mars on a bike? No, we can't fly on a bike, and we definitely couldn't go to Mars. And lastly, could a cactus grow in Antarctica? Well, we're learning a bit about our consonants at the moment. So, what do you think? Antarctica, is it a hot place, a cold place? Could a cactus grow there? I think the answer would be no, because cactuses like to grow in a hot place. So, well done if you've tried to read those sentences and answer them. They're just a bit of silliness at the end there. Right, thank you very much for everything today, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.